Hi, I'm Janet Samuelson with ServiceSource, and I'm a big fan of the idea of trying to validate and prove impact and appreciate the things that are going on to try to pull information in. What I'm wondering is that in some industries like mine, there are independent accreditation processes that look in great detail sometimes at impact and whether there's any direction in looking at whether to pull some of those kinds of things in to add them on an industry basis to what you're already doing. In other words, to give donors a deeper look at some of the impact that's there, because we in great more detail than the kinds of things that are in charting impact have surveyors that come in and look at our governance and our program practices and our outcomes and all of those kinds of things.
Yeah. Well, let me take a crack at it because it's a really important question you ask. It really, you're basically wanting to know, how do we essentially get credit for the impact that we're having on society? And it's a tough question because by and large, what we're seeing is that donors won't necessarily reward you for providing that kind of information. I know it's troubling to hear that, but that's the truth. And so what we have to do is find ways to give them this information in the dosage, at the dosage level that they will accept and actually use. It's a challenge. But now, does that mean you should stop going through the accreditations that you're going through and stop demonstrating to yourselves and your partners that you're impactful? I would say the answer to that is no. You have to continue to know that because you have to manage a business and you have to accomplish objectives. So we haven't gotten to the point yet where some donors will actually reward you for that. Maybe we will at some point. And I don't think we've gotten to the point where we know the right dosage of information to give people. But I would certainly argue that it's not going to be the voluminous, studies that you've produced that really show in a rigorous way that you've achieved what you want to achieve. That's the challenge I think that we have right now.
Just as a follow-up, though,
Yeah.
Impact is one piece,
Yeah.
but these processes also even more.
Yeah.
Your issue of
The trust, sure,
trustworthiness.
sure.
And fiscal accountability,
Sure.
transparency, all of
Absolutely.
those kinds of things that create that sense of trustworthiness
Mm-hmm.
on behalf of a donor as well as the other things. So it's just, there are some of those kinds of things out there. Is there
Sure.
a way to pull those into what's going on an industry-specific basis
Yeah, I
where
think,
it's
yeah.
appropriate?
I think in time we'll find better ways to gather information that's already there. I mean, I think the digital age is certainly helping us find new ways to take information that's already available and use it in the evaluation metrics that we have. We're certainly looking at how we can better do that. I know GuideStar is certainly looking at ways to do it. We're all looking at better ways of doing our work more efficiently and taking some of the burden off of your organizations to provide it.
It's just like we were saying before, overhead's not a proxy for effectiveness.
Mm-hmm.
However, there is lots of proxies
For trust.
for effectiveness
Yeah.
that isn't just overhead. So
Yeah.
the question then becomes is, how do you aggregate them in a way that's not burdensome to the charities beyond what they're already doing? And how do you remain flexible? And I think one of the best things the BBB Wise Giving Alliance has done over the years is remain intellectually flexible to the changing needs of the marketplace and changing attitudes of people about nonprofits. So
Yeah.
I think part of this is there's some ambiguity that we're going to have to see through in all this that we're just trying to be a part of. And then one other quick point is there's two audiences here we're talking about. For us, we're actually focused in very much on the stakeholders and the gatekeepers
Sure.
at the companies
Yep.
who are beginning to look at this data a little more intensely, and they're
Sure.
saying, how do we make sense of it? So part of our job is to help them understand they don't have to know it all.
Right.
We know a lot, and you can trust us because
Yeah.
we have vetted these charities and actually are asking them to show their accountability, effectiveness, and transparency. And the ones that do, we're placing in a cluster here for you to be able to access.
Yeah.